sync. Don't fuck me.
Badass a troll.
Who played him again? I know that guy.
Keegan
Michael Key.
Oh,
Badass a troll.
what a funny movie, man. That was so enjoyable.
So if you haven't caught on yet, we're going to talk about Transformers 1. And we're only going to talk, it's the only Transformers movie we're talking about. Honestly, there's no reason.
There's too many.
There's no good reason that me and Ben shouldn't have watched them all again to do a ranking, other than I just don't want to.
Yeah, there's a couple of them that I like. I liked the first two enough to watch them, and the most recent live action one was pretty solid. Other than that, there's a couple where the dinosaurs don't even get me. Was such a.
And it's not just that they're bad; they're also they're bad, and they're all 3 hours long. It's
3 hours.
Kill me, bro.
It's so hard to watch.
It's bro, we're gonna watch The Penguin in time and watch the 3 hour Batman. I love it. I don't know how Ben feels about it. I love that movie, and it's still hard to find the time to
love
watch
the
it.
Batman.
You think I'm gonna find 3 hours to watch Transformers the last night? It's it's a big
I was talking to Haley about this, and there's a difference between a good movie and a rewatchable movie, Yeah. And we were talking about Civil War versus Winter Soldier. And I think Civil War is probably a better movie, but I'd rather watch Winter Soldier, and I prefer Winter Soldier. I prefer watching Winter Soldier just because
it's
a little bit shorter, but it's a little bit shorter, a little bit easier to follow, and it's just a solid movie. It's a great movie.
They're both great. Both of those movies are reasonably long. They don't feel that long, neither of them.
No.
They're both really good. Transformers 1, I got to check it out. I actually got to go to an early screening of it. For us, this is actually good because it just came out this Friday, and I got to see it on the Saturday beforehand. And I enjoyed myself. I think it's a good kids movie. I think it works very well.
It's a good movie. They did a really good job of kind of pushing the two sides. This is a kids movie, but we're gonna make it really funny, and we're gonna have jokes, and the action's also gonna be cool. Badassatron. Oh my god.
Too good.
I will say there's a lot of enjoyable moments in the movie, and I think the plot is a kids movie. It's not I think the plot of other Transformers movies is obviously better, but we're not talking about that. It's a good movie. It's a good watch. The biggest problem I had is, for whatever reason, I cannot focus on Chris Hemsworth doing an American accent ever.
Dude, it's one thing, but I could focus on it, but then there were a few times where it would slip, and he wouldn't maintain his accent. I was it just pulls me right out of the movie. Especially during the end when he goes, I am Optimus Prime. And I was
no, you're not. You're Thor. What are you talking about?
Oh, no.
No, it, I was thinking of, as I was watching this, I was thinking this entire cast was pretty much perfectly casted for voice actors. Scarlett Johansson didn't really, you could have thrown anybody in there and it would have been fine, and Scarlett Johansson did a good job.
Yep.
The guy who played Megatron, my favorite thing that I've seen him in is Bullet Train, and he's just got that really good, annoyed and irritated voice. He's got a really good voice for that, and that was a perfect casting. Keegan-Michael Key, you can throw to any role, and it's going to be great. It's just, I love Keegan-Michael Key.
He's funny, man. He's got such a great...
He is so funny. And his voice is funny, too. It's the perfect casting for Bumblebee. You could have... The only Optimus Prime, Chris Hemsworth? Even I thought about that, not knowing that he was going to do an American accent. I even was
it might have been better if he didn't.
I think so too. If it was just Australian, I think that would have been fine.
Yeah.
I'm Optimus Prime.
Yeah, put some more layers on the voice, and maybe change it after he becomes Optimus Prime. But he has the exact same voice. It's it does pull me out of the movie.
What was that movie on Netflix with Miles Teller that it had Chris Hemsworth in it? That all about feelings. It was a weird movie.
Spider something.
Yeah.
That was bad, dude.
It was so bad, but I bring it up because that was the first time I heard Chris Hemsworth try to do an American accent, and it was like no, and the
Liam
movie
can.
was so bad that Chris Hemsworth's his accent wasn't even the worst part of the movie. That's how bad the movie was.
Yeah.
But it like
I couldn't tell
he
you
is
anything that happens in that
he's
movie.
got I don't know, they made a love drug. That's all I remember.
Yeah, it's not good. Don't watch it.
But don't watch it. Do yourself a favor. But I think he's got such a strong Australian accent that it's just so hard
Yeah.
to go English, you know?
He can do English very well. I will say, like the Thor,
or
like
American,
like high British voice. He can do that quite well.
that was fine. Yeah,
He's good at playing
just the
Thor, believe it or not.
Yeah, it's the American accent that it drives me crazy.
I thought it was a
throughout the whole
good. I mean, like when he was doing an American accent, I wasn't like blown away by it, but I wasn't really noticing. And then there were moments where you're like, well, I don't know if it would like the words would slip into a different accent.
Yeah.
I was like, dude, have him do another take. Because like if you've seen
Yeah.
like Hunger Games or you've seen like Isn't It Romantic, you know Liam Hemsworth can do an American accent. Guy can do it. I don't know what's wrong with Chris.
I think Chris has such a strong Australian accent. It's just really hard.
But, he's also such a big person. If you've seen him in interviews, you know he's just a huge personality.
Yeah. All right. The good things about the movie. Let's move on. I had to say that. Let's move on to that.
Yeah.
I thought this was the best CGI I've ever seen in any Transformers movie.
Really?
And that's no, it not in terms of action, because that's a high bar. Michael Bay, great director. Like I'm not stepping on his toes. Yeah. Bad Boys 3, terrible movie. But there was some that is crazy. That's crazy. There was some points in the movie where I looked at like the planet, the buildings, the plants, where I'm just like, if you put a regular human with a green screen onto that, I wouldn't question anything. Yeah. I was just blown away by how realistic everything looked. And then you look at the Transformers and I'm like, oh, this is animated? Oh, okay. That is pretty cool. I thought that the animation was one of the best. If there was a best picture for animation category, I think you could easily put Transformers into that category for awards and stuff like that. I just thought that visually it was some of the coolest animations in terms of CGI that there is. I just made a mental note of that throughout the whole movie.
It reminded me a lot of like my experience first watching Into the Spider-Verse, in that it's a very different animation style to something I've ever seen before, which is very 3D centric but more glossy kind of thing. And the thing is, I had the same reaction when I saw Spider-Verse, which is obviously the cartoon style, comic book style, very low frame rate thing going on, where I was first watching it, and because I hadn't seen something like before, it was like screwing with me, and I was like, this is distracting, this is bothering me. And then like 5 minutes in, I'm adjusted. I'm right there in it. It takes very quick, because for a second you watch, like you're worried, like, is this going to be the whole movie? Is this, and then you're like, I'm in, I've got it.
Yeah, it is the whole movie, but it's fine.
Yeah, but and it looks very, very good in my opinion. Lots of like the sticker on his arm looks well. The whole animation with the I don't know what they're called, the cogs in their chest opening up, coming out. I will say that the scene where the scene where Optimus Prime meets the Primes, and that callback to that really shitty scene from Revenge of the Fallen. That looks a lot better than that does. I will say, in terms of CGI, well, maybe not CGI, just like effects, because obviously all the old Transformers movies relied a lot on practical effects and not all CGI and computer generated imaging. I feel like those, for all their faults, and one day we'll talk about them, because this movie did set up sequels. We'll talk about that. So we'll be talking about Transformers again. Transformers is one of those older movies, also like Pirates of the Caribbean is another example, where like compared to a lot of things that come out today, they look really good. Like those old live action Transformers movies,
for you.
They look really, really good. And it's partially like it is practical effects, not something completely created by CGI. It's practical effects, and then you like enhance the environment around it, or you make it look different. But you're really looking at someone falling out of the air. It just looks completely different. It looks good because of the way it's done. It's not all CGI. Doing all CGI is hard to do. It's really, really challenging. Yeah, I thought that worked really well. I also love dogs.
Yeah,
I would
I'm
say
gonna
like
take care of it real quick.
yeah, okay, he's
Keep
gone.
talking.
I can just talk. Hopefully I don't get too tired. The the story was very simple and there were some very obvious like things in it, and I'm pretty sure I only picked up on that because we've just been binging The Boys for a while, and I'm used to very tight, well thought out stories where we're talking about the writing but we're nitpicking the writing a little bit. Stuff like here where they're put in a hold with Bumblebee's like there's no way out and we're just going to go to the surface. No one else has gone to the surface. Like little things like that really like jump out to me from the screen because I've been watching very well written things for the last few months. But not it didn't take away from my detract from the movie for me. An interesting thing that kind of did give me a problem was, and we were just it's funny because we were just talking about the other Transformers movies being too long, and they're too goddamn long, all of them, even ones I like Dark of the
I didn't
Moon
think it was long. It wasn't long
is too
enough.
long. This one exactly, I don't think it was long enough, and I think
An
a couple
hour
things.
and 40 minutes for a story like that. No,
Yeah,
I think
and
it could have been 2 hours and been fine.
Yeah, and I think a couple
even
things,
2:15.
yeah, a couple things suffered. And like, listen, this isn't a case of Amazing Spider-Man 2 where you wanted to set up a billion sequels and you screwed your movie. You did. This movie's good. But there are things in here that they set up to make more sequels, and that took time away from some other things. And I think the biggest victim of that was the character of Megatron. I
Yeah.
get the idea that Megatron has a completely different reaction to what's going on with Sentinel Prime. But it's so extreme, and especially in the third act where he says, I'm done saving you, and is willing to just drop Optimus off to presumably his death. I don't understand how that character got from here to here, and I think part of the reason for that is the movie is so short, and we're spending a lot of time on there's aliens up there that the Transformers need to fight. We need to set up this whole army with Starscream so that Megatron has people to fight with when we do our Transformers 2 or whatever they're going to call it.
I think they really could have just set up a couple scenes where Megatron needs Optimus, and Optimus is just not there the way that Megatron wants him to be there, you know? And then Megatron is there for Optimus, you know? Like, they each have their back, you know, throughout the whole movie. And then all of a sudden, Megatron's like, no, I'm done, you know?
Yeah.
If all of a sudden, you know, Optimus was kind of seeing the bigger picture and saying, oh, this is for Cybertron, you know?
Yeah.
And this is for my friends. I'm going to lead.
Yeah.
But he's going to lead at the cost of Megatron. And then all of a sudden, Megatron's like, we just don't see eye to eye. I'm done having your back. You haven't had my back. I'm done having your back.
Yeah.
And then drop him. I would have been like, yeah, that's justified, you know?
Yeah.
Maybe
something
like,
like that.
I'm done saving you, you know? But I don't know.
Yeah. Maybe something like that. Or maybe something like maybe Sentinel Prime did something more personal to Megatron. Maybe you really dig in deep on Megatron, looking at Megatron as Prime that Sentinel Prime portrayed and killed. Like, you spend more time on that. But I feel like we really needed more time with that character to kind of bridge. Oh shit, my computer's fast. I think we needed more time with that character to really understand how he got from A to B. And the other thing about it, this isn't a big deal. I don't really care, but it does like kind of live in my brain a little bit that do we really need every single like great hero villain characters to like used to be buddies and then fell apart? I was like, okay. Like, I mean, I enjoyed the ride. Yeah. It was fine, but I was like, we do this a lot. We do this an awful lot.
I don't have a problem with it, but I don't have the problem with it because of it was referenced in the actual Transformers that they used to be friends and then they didn't see eye to eye, and then that's why they're enemies now, you know, and that was referenced.
I always saw that as like a General Zod kind of situation, but I can see it. Yeah.
But it just, there was a couple times where it just didn't make too much sense to me. It was we didn't get enough with who does John Hamm play? What's his name? Prime, the leader, the betrayed Sentinel Prime. Yeah. It just didn't make sense to me. Like, you could have made him betray the other primes, but what did he gain? I
I
didn't
guess like
really.
he's like the whole leader of the whole thing. Like he's their Jesus, effectively. Like he's their
Mhm.
Messiah, standing on top. He presumably gets a lot of the energon. He lives a very nice life. He commands everybody. I mean, I will say, like, there's a little bit of conspiracy going on here. I was like, there's a lot of people here who are just like okay with, like, definitely know what happened and
Yeah.
why, and are very okay with it, and are like still beating the shit out of.
It
Yeah,
it was the plot points for that specifically were low. Okay.
yeah. But again,
But
kids movie, you're not supposed to, and
it's a
and
kids
granted,
movie. Yeah.
it's not 100% going to be for me. It's not 100% my tone. I would love a Transformers movie that is PG-13 and a little, not necessarily like harsh, but like got
Mm-hmm.
more edges to it than.
Very
Are you mad at me?
similar to
I'm
Spider Verse.
like. Are
Yeah.
you mad at me? I'm slightly less mad at you. Like funny,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, but like not really the tone that that I would love. But on the other hand, I'm a movie degenerate who sees everything and is like a fan who only thinks that they should make what I want to make, and I'm not thinking that,
Yeah.
listen, this is going to make a lot of money because of the demographic they're going after. I work at a movie theater now. That's how I have this shirt, and it's why I'm up so late. If
Mm-hmm.
you can't tell, to do this with Ben, because he lives in Guam, and I don't want to wake up at 6 a.m. That's why you got greasy, attractive men today. But yeah, like I would love that movie, but this movie's probably gonna make more money because it's going after kids, and that's fine. And it's not like there aren't going to be movies for me that are going to come out. So a
I
good
would.
movie. I
Yeah.
wouldn't say it's great, but I
Yeah.
enjoyed it. I would recommend it, even though I just spoiled the whole thing.
Hey,
But
Haley put it perfectly. I think. It is a perfect movie to fall asleep to. If you want to put on
oh yeah,
before bed, it's a perfect movie to fall
yeah,
asleep to. It's an
and that doesn't
enjoyable
mean it's
movie.
bad.
No, it's an enjoyable movie, a good watch. I would not put on Madam Web to fall asleep to. Hell no,
Yeah, like she's
not in a
not.
million years.
I don't
You
think she's
know?
saying like this movie's so boring, like you put it on, you'll fall asleep. Like no, it's like people who watch Friends to fall asleep. Like it's a
Yeah.
great show. Like yeah, this is a
Friends,
good.
The Office, whatever. You're tired, but you still want to watch something. Yeah, it's
Yeah,
Transformers, and then finally you can go to sleep.
you could
You don't have
very
to pay
yeah,
too much attention, but it's a fun movie. So
yeah, exactly.
yeah,
It's a good one. I enjoyed it a lot.
mm-hmm.
What's your
Very
favorite
enjoyable.
Transformers movie?
Probably. I don't know. I'd have to rewatch them. I really liked the last one. I really did like the last one.
Rise of the Beasts.
Yeah.
That was
I thought it was
interesting.
gonna be bad. I thought it was gonna be bad, but I really did like the last one.
Kind of had like
The
good mix of everything.
yeah, the second one was really action packed. And you know me and my action. I love action.
Likes
So
action.
I love watching the second one. First one, I mean, first one's good. I don't know. I hated the dinosaur one. The Mark Wahlberg one just no. Yeah. But
We're trying to like do a backwards ranking here because we haven't like watched the movies. I think
but
one's
I
a
know for a
classic summer
fact
blockbuster.
the first two I would watch again, and the most recent one I would watch again. Everything else, we'll see if I remember. The Mark Wahlberg one is going to be a hard watch because it
Yeah,
was just too long, and I just didn't care.
and like it's some of like the things they're doing. Like this evil corporation is like got a new transformium, the element. That's just
Yeah,
like what translates like what the hell.
yeah.
The
Third one was solid too. I think.
I
Or it
like
was
the
okay.
third one. I think
Yeah.
it's too long,
I
but I like. I think the third one actually has the best action for me. It's got
anything.
such a big budget. They gave him enough
Yeah.
time to write it.
I forgot about the third one, but every single one that Shia LaBeouf is in, I would watch again. You know,
The first one's
he's perfect.
quite good.
Yeah,
The first one actually works well on just like not even like a guilty pleasure, like on a movie level, like a summer
Yeah.
blockbuster level. It's
it
a
makes
good
sense.
movie.
Yeah. Especially 2009 is when it came out, I think. But
Yeah, I get some parts of it haven't aged super well, and if that bothers you, that's totally fair. But for me,
yeah,
it's a fun watch. The second one is ridiculous.
yeah,
Wholly ridiculous. Like, dude, if you're gonna watch the second one, you need to turn your brain completely off because if you start
Yeah.
thinking too hard about it, you're like, wait a goddamn minute.
yeah,
Th-
yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Third one is good. I think it's best action. Fourth one is Age of Extinction, right?
That's the Mark Wahlberg. Don't watch it.
That one's bad. That
That's
one's
the
real bad.
dinosaurs. The 3-hour movie with dinosaurs and
Yeah.
aliens and Transformers.
Yeah,
And
and
it's
the
like, all right.
statutory rape jokes.
Yeah.
Oh, the thing is, T.J. Miller's in that movie, and he's really funny. And then they kill him off.
Yeah.
Fifth
Bumblebee.
one-
Bumblebee is great.
Oh,
Bumblebee
that's
is
gotta be
great.
me.
Bumblebee is probably
That's
number
all.
one. Bumblebee
Yeah,
is number one.
that's a
I
great
forgot about
movie.
Bumblebee.
But that one
Yeah.
did. You know what sucks? Bumblebee didn't make any money,
It has like the
but it
best
was
one.
so good. It's like
Yeah.
E.T. or like the Iron Giant with Transformers with Bumblebee, like
Yeah.
with
Yeah.
Haley Steinfeld, who's now like a superstar. So I
Oh
don't
yeah.
know, man.
Yeah. We
What
will
was it? The Last Night?
eventually. Yeah, we'll eventually rank them, but we
Not
got a
this
lot
time.
of stuff coming out. Yeah.
And I do not. I'm like I said, if I was like I don't want to. I don't feel like it. I'm not interested. I'm in
If
the
we
middle of
run out of
school.
stuff to rank and we want to have a week Transformers marathon, which I would rather have a
Yeah.
Star Wars, a Harry Potter. I mean, I could list a bunch of other franchises I would
Yeah.
rather
Spider-Man.
binge. Even Scream. I would rather watch Scream movies
Oh, I
than Transformers.
love
movies.
Scream. I think all the
Yeah.
Scream movies are good.
Yeah, I think so too.
Scream's actually my favorite scary movie of all time.
No, it's. I don't like scary movies, but Scream was really fun to watch.
By the way,
So-
I thought that was like an unpopular opinion. Apparently, everyone on the internet agrees with me. So, I guess it is like little smart alecky, big smart
Yeah.
ass movie. So
Yeah.
I guess that makes sense that all of Twitter loves it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was Transformers 1. Another movie we saw, I actually saw very recently. Ben saw it before me. He told me it was great. It stars my boy James McAvoy. One
He's such a
Speak
good actor,
No
man.
Evil. He's great, man. He's great. It's weird to say this, but he's great in this type of role. Like
He
this guy
is one of the most underrated and underappreciated actors in the world because he is so good at being just like a crazy, unwell person. You know,
Yeah.
he is
Who's also like so charming and fun and like
Mhm.
someone you would want to hang out with,
Like,
but you just
yeah.
just does shit. Like this isn't the 1st time he's done it 2 or 3 other times.
Yeah,
And he's just really good in this kind of, which is a weird thing to say about about an actor. But not that he can't do it.
Yeah.
Listen, I've got a lot of hot takes on how much I love James McAvoy.
He was good in X-Men. I mean, I could list a bunch of other
Yeah,
every single thing I've seen him in. One day we'll finally do the X-Men rankings.
One day. Yeah,
I tried to get through Wolverine and it was hard to get through, but I'm trying.
Which one? X-Men Origins or the Wolverine?
Yeah, I finally got through
Both.
X-Men Origins. Yeah, but then I'm trying to get through the Wolverine, and then I was just like, I really don't want to watch this right now.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then
It's
I got to
mostly good
get
after
through what
Deadpool
is it?
and Deadpool
Yeah.
2 and Logan and
Those are great.
fucking Apocalypse. Well, fuck
That's
you.
what I was thinking.
Yeah,
I don't want to
well,
get through
you're
Apocalypse.
fucked. Yeah.
But no, this was a really, really good movie. Surprisingly good movie for me. I don't know how you felt, but I thought it was very. When I saw the trailer, I thought it was very easy to like. Oh, this is very predictable, you know. And half of it was, and the other half I was like, oh, I didn't see that coming. I did like. Spoiler alert. The kid, like, his wife is one of the kids that he took in the past. I was like,
Yeah.
oh,
Yeah.
shit. I didn't see that coming. I kind of.
Stockholm Syndrome go crazy.
Yeah. Haley guessed that they had a daughter that died or something like that. I don't know. But and we also had no idea that the kid was a kid from another, like, we didn't guess the entire twist, which was good. Some of it I was like, okay, this is gonna happen, whatever. But no, it completely. Oh, they're actually taking kids and then keep recycling kids until they find the one they want to keep or one that wants
Yeah.
to be their kid. It's crazy. The biggest complaint that I have, which I didn't have a lot. There's two, I guess. I guess you could just say the other mom and dad in general, really fucking pissed me off a lot. One, dad is a complete pussy. Holy shit. I wanted to beat the fuck out of him the entire movie. The only thing that he did was sprain his ankle.
Yeah.
That's the only, like, if he didn't sprain his ankle, they probably would have died, you know, and put
Yeah.
the ladder. That's the only sacrifice he made. The other, which was the mom was very, I mean, just leaden. I don't even know what. I couldn't even tell you what specifically I had a problem with her. I just didn't like her as a character. You know, it just a lot of like back and forth, and it just didn't. Their whole relationship just didn't make sense to me, and maybe that's how they wanted to portray it, but it just didn't make sense to me. Now she was a badass at the end. Like, thank God she was there, because the dad would have just died. Because the dad's, I had a big problem with the dad.
Yeah.
The end of the movie, the very end of the movie, the guy literally says, "I'm taking your daughter and I'm turning her into what she was." And then when you finally have him on the ground and you have a shovel in your hand, you decide to show him mercy. And then the kid was like, "Fine, I'll do it myself." And I'm like, "Thank you." The boy was like my favorite character.
Yeah.
You know?
Dude, the boy has balls, man. That boy's got fucking balls. I gotta say, I enjoyed. I'm gonna talk about the things I didn't like first, because I just want to talk about the good stuff. The first thing is that it's a genre movie. It's a very good genre movie. It's kind of like Crazy Rich Asians for rom-coms, which is a very good rom-com, but it does fit the template. This is a template movie. Like, you can see where it's going. You can see you can't like. There are a couple twists Ben's talking about that like aren't that you go, whoa, shit, that's fucked up.
It's pretty predictable for the overall plot. You can generally
kind of put the pieces together about what's going to happen and when. The other thing is, I agree with Ben, especially in the like third act of the movie. This dad sucks. Like, he's a totally spineless fuck for the first 2/3 of the movie, and then in the third act, he just fucks up over and over. Like, Molotov talked to, shoot him, go. All right, what the fuck? Are you serious? What a dumb shit.
The wife is a complete badass in the third act. The end of the movie, complete badass. Holy shit, the dad.
My issue with actually, we're gonna cut this part out. This is just for you. My issue with the wife. Right, let's get that out. So. So.
Anyway.
So. Yeah, I thought it was really well done. I love how, like, especially because at the end they're like, "Why are you doing this?" And James McAvoy's like, "Because you let us." And like the whole movie, him and his wife are just like doing shit. It's like unspoken rules of just shit you don't do.
Yeah,
like that. And they do it the whole movie. Like, she's like, "Oh, we're gonna like just strip down, we're gonna jump in," and she's like, "Oh, you've got a wonderful body." Like, she's telling her kid how to eat her food and shit. He's like fucking just grabs her kid, takes her on a bike, are you using this, drags it, like all kinds of shit that is just beyond not okay. Yeah, and you find at the end like they were just fucking with them is what was really happening.
Yeah, no, they were seeing what they could get away with. That's literally what they were doing.
Yeah, and these partially because the wife expected. Listen, it's partially her fault too, and she does step up and tell them how it is. But fuck, man, that husband, he just like. Her daughter was in their bed, and you are not. Like, you're just like, well, listen, man. Like, she gets like a little upset, and his wife's like, "No, fuck you. She was in your bed."
Also, the daughter. A lot of the characters piss me off, and I know the daughter, but that bunny. Oh, dude. I mean, yeah, they saved the boy and everything's fine, but me and Haley were pissed in the theaters.
Two things
you were
about
not
that.
Going back for a stuffed animal.
Two things for that. One, I was sort of kind of like willing to suspend disbelief to forgive, like, okay, we're going back for the bunny thing, until they were like, "Oh, you don't have your bunny and we're leaving now that we know we're in trouble." It's like, you should have known you were in trouble already, and that should have been your thought process. You don't have the explanation yet. This girl should be freaking out about leaving without her bunny right now. She shouldn't be like, "No, it's fine, we'll just go." Like, that should not be happening. And maybe everyone's just going to disagree with me when I say this. But when that gate is open and you're driving away and you know that this couple wants to kill you and take your daughter and cut out her tongue, when you see him push that kid in the water, you're like, "Yeah,
drown!
Yeah, well, fuck that, I'm leaving."
Oh.
You were not going to rule it.
Yeah. We'll call the cops, we'll pray for you, but I'm saving my family.
Dude, there's no math there. Like, it all worked out fine because movie, but like, Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Stop the car, go get him, fucking husband. And the wife was like, "What are you doing?" Rightfully so. Yeah.
Also, it's a Tesla. You know, and it's not a small Tesla. It's a big Tesla. You're telling me you couldn't have driven through the wood?
The gate was open.
And then they closed the gate, but they also could have.
They could have.
They're like,
They closed.
we
They
need a
closed the
truck
gate.
to drive through the gate.
They closed the gate after. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, a great atmosphere. Listen, really great scene at the end where James McAvoy is like, where like they know, and James McAvoy is like fucking with like, hey, you want to leave? You're not really telling us the truth. All right, hey, I'll get the gate for you. Like doing all this, like where you're like, how is this gonna? They're not gonna get away right now. Then you see him push, and like that's not a great reason why they should stay, but. Like, jeez. Also,
the boy conveniently not knowing how to swim. I'm like, oh, if you knew how to swim, you'd be fine.
I could, and that's fine with me. I could buy that.
I'm nitpicking at this point, but it's just look. I would categorize this movie. I would categorize this movie as a thriller. It technically said horror movie. I would categorize it as a thriller. Look, I hate horror movies, and I love this movie, so that's why I would put it in.
There's a genre that you would call horror, and this isn't like there are bitches who like horror movies, and like whenever a horror movie is good, they say it's not actually horror. That's not what I'm saying. There is a genre of horror movies that exist that are just designed to scare you, designed to like make you jump, designed to like make you like shake in your boots and be scared. This is much more. Like Ben said, a thriller. It's a suspense movie. There are jump scares in there, but it's much more like designed to like have you build a lot of tension. So you're like on the edge of your seat, like you feel like you have to like guard yourself. Maybe like you're making your head ring a little bit. And that's what this movie is. It's not a horror movie. It's not, if you've ever seen It in 2017. That is a movie that's a fucking scary movie.
It's trying to scare you. Yeah.
Like I would describe Alien Romulus, that we're going to talk about at some point, as like a very scary horror movie. I would describe it that way. Also sci-fi, also action, of course, and also some very cool sci-fi action. I think you could put
sci-fi horror, you know?
But it's definitely, I wouldn't describe this as horror, but it's very good, and it's very on the edge of your seat. Speak No Evil. Like I caught myself holding my breath at certain points.
Also, great title, by the way, you know? Like, the boy can't speak because they cut his tongue out.
Yeah.
You know? And then they call it Speak No Evil, and it's not even about religion, and that's the title.
Yeah.
Like, great title, you know?
Yeah, great scene, by the way. Maybe my favorite scene in the whole movie is when the boy takes the daughter down into the area. Because, one, you're feeling the tension the whole time. Is like, is the dad going to get up and get him? Two, like, what a great... the great way to direct the scene, to look at the same page 3 times, and each time you pick up on something different in the picture. Like the first time you pick like, oh shit, she's there. Oh shit, he wants his watch. Oh shit, that kid's like doing that with his tongue. Like they cut that shit off. Like, and each time like raises your suspense, makes you more on the edge of your seat. And then like you go back in, he's gone, and he like clicks the door up. Like that kid has such balls. Like such balls.
And I think it's I know that James McAvoy's character was it Patty? I think Patty's his name.
Patty.
I know that that he and the kid had a genuine like, oh yeah, I wouldn't mind if this was my actual son, you know, because he does respect the kid. Now he thinks he's a little shit, but he respects him. And you see that at the end of the movie where he's like, that a boy. Right as he's about to die, he sees the kid get a brick. He's like, that a boy.
And you might think, because like on some level, you might think that it's interesting the qualities that he's looking for in the kid he wants to keep. Like this kid can't swim. What the fuck? This kid can't dance to a rhythm, has a fucking freak out, OCD, like go crazy kind of thing. He has a very like regimented, hierarchical view of what brings value to a child and what they can bring and what he wants to bring in. And like, it's almost like a test while the other family is there. It's like, how is this kid behaving? Is he living up to it? Is he like being part of the group? Can he throw a football? Is he good enough? And I guess the kid failed the test. And then the kid, of course, smashes his face in with the brick. By the way, great use of delayed information because the horse tranquilizer wasn't even in my head. I wasn't even thinking about that she got him with.
Yeah.
Uh, and of course, you have that thing at the end with the really on the nose imagery of the girl with her hand holding the blood soaked hand of the kid that's next to her.
I know.
Yeah.
And it's also, the movie ended the same way it started. I don't know if you caught that. I mean, it was the boy in the mirror, in the rearview mirror, and they drove up to the house, so then it cut. That's at the beginning of the movie. And then it ended with the boy, a little bit bloody, face, rearview mirror, and then the movie ends. It ended the same way it started. I thought that was pretty cool, full circle. But no, yeah, I think everybody. With that being said, I think the actor who played the dad. We're talking about actors and actresses now. The actor that played the dad played it perfectly. The actor that played the boy played it perfectly. The daughter too. If you could get us very irritated at your character, you did a really good performance, you know?
Yeah.
Because that's clearly what they were trying to say in the movie.
Again, this is not beef with the actor.
No.
Our frustration comes from that the movie wants you to be frustrated with this person.
It wants you to be frustrated.
It's trying to say something.
It wants you to be mad at the daughter that she left her fucking bunny. You know, it wants you to be mad.
It kicks him out of his fucking seat.
I know. It wants you to be mad at the husband because he didn't stand up for his family. You know, there's a bunch of the movie. It's well written because you can kind of know what's going on, which is really easy to follow. And then there's some twists. There's no way you could have predicted. You know, so it's it's a very good movie, very enjoyable movie. I'd see it again, and yeah, I mean it's a pretty damn good movie. And James McAvoy, we love James McAvoy.
Yeah, he's great. Okay, we might cut this part out. I wanted to ask you, I haven't seen the movie, but there's a controversy going on right now with Jeremy Jahns because he reviewed the movie I'm Not Racist, or Am I Racist, starring Matt Walsh from the Daily Wire. Now, I have thoughts on both of those issues. I don't think people are coming. The issue is that people are attacking him now for reviewing the movie. Yeah, and he apparently enjoyed the movie, which is good for him. But I think it's just kind of disgusting that that's going on. But if you I'd be good to talk about it on the podcast. But if you don't want to do that, that's fine. I get it.
I haven't seen the movie, but I mean we could talk about it. I don't care. Yeah. And I haven't seen his review or it online. The only thing I've seen is what you posted on your story. I saw that. Yeah. Yeah, that was
okay. So, me and Ben are going to talk about a serious issue. So the Daily Wire released a movie starring Matt Walsh called Am I Racist? And because the Daily Wire is a political organization and corporation, it has a very political bend to it. A very popular movie reviewer, Jeremy Jahns, reviewed the movie. I've seen the review. I think he gave it a mixed positive review, or even a very positive review. I think he said no alcohol required, and he enjoyed the movie. And since then, he has been being lit the fuck up on Twitter, in YouTube comments, everywhere, by people who are upset that apparently he's making a political statement. Remember, Jeremy Jahns is not a political guy. Or maybe he is. I'm not super familiar with his content. I don't really care about him. No offense to Jeremy Jahns. But he's reviewing a movie, which is what movie YouTubers do. And he's giving his honest opinion on it. He didn't make a political statement. He didn't make a point about anything outside of the movie. I just think I wanted to talk about it because I just think it's crazy to go after a guy like that. I think it's insane.
Pretty much what I'm seeing online is, I mean, there's a lot of there's a lot of people who are trying to get him canceled and are hating on him, but I don't know. Reddit is always right, and Reddit pretty much says that his fans are praising him, his haters are mocking him. So I don't really have too much of an opinion on that, but I do find a lot of. I hate cancel culture. I hate it so much. I mean, if you're reviewing something, it's literally freedom of speech. You say whatever you want to say. I really couldn't care less. You know,
Yeah.
you're gonna have your opinion. I'm gonna have mine. I can't stand cancel culture. I really can't, and I can't stand people who don't get that idea that are like, I don't. No, you have your opinion, but I don't like your opinion, so I'm going to change it.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. But anyway.
And the thing is, like, also, I won't say who is where on the spectrum, but me and Ben, like, politically, violently disagree. There's a reason we didn't start the like politics and attractive men podcast. That's talking about very serious issues that like affect the world. Not that they aren't important, but like we want to talk about movies, and like movies are like the way that for me it's the way I understand my human experience, and it's a great way for me to just forget my shitty day a lot of the time. Just talk about nerdy things like movies, and not that movies can't comment on real things.
Me. Like I respect that Chad has his opinions. I disagree, but I respect it, and I don't try to change it because it's the same thing. He's not going to change mine. I'm not going to change his. You know,
not likely.
That is that. Let's talk about movies. You know, like it's not a big deal. I don't know why people are getting so mad about things that they disagree with, and I'll never understand that.
Yeah, and we're talking about a guy who talked about a movie. We're probably not going to talk about it on here because I'd rather kill myself than get involved in that kind of culture war. Like. Yeah, it's just we're talking about movies. Movies are awesome. Movies are fun. I get aggravated. Listen, is this Am I Racist movie probably very political? Probably. Listen, and that is probably going to bother me a lot when I go watch it, and I'm only going to watch it because this thing happened. But listen, it also bothered me when like Barbie and the third act of Barbie, the conflict is resolved by literally the director and writers talking to the audience. I can't remember her name right now, but through the mom's character, she says some things about women's struggles in society, and then everyone's like, "I broke out of my trance because of the things that you said." That bothers me too. It's like, and there are I don't like. It's movies. Movies are fun. We don't want movies to be preachy. I don't care like which side it's on. I want to see a story. I don't want to hear your opinion.
I don't want to get drawn out of the movie because I notice like, okay, they're doing that because they're trying to push an agenda. You know, I don't want to see that. I want the story to be the story. You know,
and movies can make points. They can, and what's awesome about movies is that they are supposed to like break down your like barriers and your preconceptions and your like political views and just take you on a story and share maybe an experience of a character with you that might give you a new perspective. That's a way it can do it. A great example is a movie like Coda from a few years ago that won Best Picture. It's a movie about a girl with deaf parents, and this girl loves music, and her parents can't really appreciate that as much. And there's a million different ways to kind of explore in a way that you've just never really thought about, and really pulls you and makes you care about it. That's an awesome movie, and that's an awesome point to make. It's just, I get it's a little, we're kind of like, I'm on a soapbox at this point, but I was very frustrated. I made some comments on other social media platforms that Ben noticed, and I brought it up here. But
moral of the story is, can you stop caring what other people think and respect other people's opinion? You don't have to agree with it. You don't have to like it. You know, that's why me and Chad very rarely talk politics. You know, like very rarely, just because it like there's no point. Like we're not gonna agree, and if we talk, you know, we're not trying to change an opinion.
And we're going to like be hearing about who didn't go to the beach.
You know, I should have gone to the Braves game. You said
shoulda, coulda, woulda.
Shoulda, coulda, woulda.
So soon, movie that's coming out very soon that me and Ben are excited about, Joker. Woo! Joker's going to happen. So I don't want to give like my full review of like the first Joker right now, but I loved it. And one of the things I loved about it was that everyone had a different opinion about it.
Yes.
Some people loved it, some people hated it, some people in the middle. We've gotten our first reviews for the new Joker. Same thing. And in fact,
speaking of opinions, if you hated it, you're wrong, and I want to cancel you.
Dude, Liv for the Boys podcast, she watched it either today or yesterday. She sent me her thoughts, and like I got mad at her and blew her up for being wrong. Actually, Liv's not on the podcast. I can just tell you what her opinion is.
Oh my
Wow.
goodness.
Let's take a look. Liv, what is your incorrect opinion about Joker? My dad doesn't like it. It's not very canonically accurate. Canonically accurate. I don't think it works super well in the Batman universe. I didn't like how they tried to connect him with Bruce Wayne. They didn't. Because that doesn't make a lot of sense.
How does that not make sense? That was literally in the comics.
Don't think the same timeline from this movie to The Dark Knight works. Plus, Heath Ledger's Joker and this Joker are different from what I remember. Everyone, go tell Liv get in the comments and tell Liv that she's dumb and that she doesn't get movies and she's never being on the podcast again because she sucks. And we're starting the internet.
I'm gonna save this
with Liv.
I'm gonna save this for the next Joker podcast, but it just doesn't make sense. You know why it doesn't make sense? Because it's not connected to the fucking Dark Knight. That's why it doesn't make any fucking sense. It's not even supposed to be connected.
I know, what the hell?
And the part that she's complaining about literally is shot for shot, word for word on how the Joker literally killed Batman's parents. You know? And how they did it was their own rendition, but someone in a Joker mask killed Batman's parents.
Yes.
You know? Which is great writing because they didn't want Joaquin Phoenix to kill Batman's parents.
Yeah, and even if you saw the first movie, I even said this when the first movie came out, I was like, are they really going to make like Joker the brother of Bruce Wayne? That's fucking lame. And then it's like, no, it did. And it's like, oh, that works really well. That's such a good...
It works really well.
Yeah.
They had, in the comics, the Joker, like literally the Joker killed Batman's parents. But in this movie, they say, we don't want to do that. But because we want Batman to have... because we want Batman to have some type of feeling toward Joker, we're going to make someone in a Joker mask kill Bruce Wayne's parents.
Yeah, inciting...
Perfect.
Because he incited it. How... Dude. Okay.
It's perfect.
The Joker is a fantastic movie, in my opinion. That's
if you disagree,
preview.
You're wrong. If you disagree, you're wrong.
It's a little preview of our Joker coverage.
I won't live on the podcast after seeing Joker 2 because I just want to go at it. And we can all tell her she's wrong.
Okay.
But anyway, moving on.
We will post a poll on YouTube.
Yes.
Tell us if you want Liv on the Joker podcast. And if you say yes, we're going to ask you if we should bully her, and we don't care what your response is to that one because she's just going to get lit on fire.
The only answer on that poll is going to be yes.
Yeah.
So anyway, another movie that I think has potential to be best animated film of the year, beating Inside Out 2. I think this has potential to beat Inside Out 2. Is The Wild Robot. I really think
that's getting good reviews.
That is coming out next
Moana
weekend.
2.
Moana 2. I see what's happening here.
You know, I've never seen Moana. I'm gonna get.
It's It's actually great. It's actually.
I'll watch it. I'll watch it when we got to talk about Moana 2. So I'll watch it in prep.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah. But no, I actually do think Wild Robot has potential to be better than Inside Out 2. In terms of the Oscars for best animated movie of the year, you know. I really do think it has potential. So
I mean, Inside Out 2 is amazing.
Inside Out 2 is great.
That podcast has still not come out, by the way.
But no, just based on the reviews and the trailer and just the movie in general, I'm like, that movie looks fucking amazing. And Haley cries every time she sees the trailer.
It looks like a movie that's like designed to, not like in a dog movie kind of way, but it's like a movie that's gonna bring the big emotions out. Speaking of movies that bring big emotions out, are you ready for the Christopher Reeves documentary? Superman.
What?
Christopher Reeves documentary. I don't know what it's called. But he played Superman and he was in a wheelchair, and through that him recovering. I'm not super sure about the exact mechanics of it, but I know that I will be there. I love Superman the movie. I know I'm too young to love Superman the movie, but I watched the crap out of it as a kid, and Superman 2.
You know what's cool? The new Superman movie that's coming out with who's the Guardians director?
James Gunn.
James Gunn specifically said that, what's Superman's name? Christopher Reeves. Christopher Reeves' son is going to cameo in the new Superman movie.
Yes.
Which I think is awesome. He's not going to be Superman, but he's going to cameo. And his son was like, it's a full circle moment, which is pretty cool.
Boom. Yeah.
So
Yeah, I just remember seeing the trailer for the documentary, and it was, even the trailer was like bringing up those big emotions, like wow. And I was like, this movie might break me a little bit, but and also me and Ben are like the ultimate in comic book movie fan, like nerds. So we will be well, at least I will see it. Ben will be too busy. What? Yeah, because you all know that that Ben is the one who doesn't see movies and makes it hard to do this podcast. We all know this.
We definitely know that.
We know this. How long did it take you to see Furiosa, Ben?
Oh, I saw it opening weekend.
I saw it the week before opening weekend.
Yeah, damn it. But no, we got some good movies coming up. So
yeah, we're gonna have a good time.
Venom's coming soon. I think Venom is October or something. So
what we need to do is start just doing this, where we just name a bunch of movies we could talk about. Because then when we don't do the one that we said, then we're good. We'll hit one of these for sure.
Yeah. So, oh yeah.
But we did do The Boys.
Yeah, we did. I'm glad we did The Boys. And we got Agatha and the Penguin.
That's right, Agatha and the Penguin. We do. I've heard very good things about that Penguin episode, and Agatha.
Agatha got good reviews. Now it is a show, and I have no clue, but it was about 80% on Rotten Tomatoes, which is better than Secret Invasion. So I will be watching that.
Well, I mean, listen,
that's not a high bar, but
I was gonna say this is the bar down here.
I'm hoping it's like just a fun little thing that doesn't try to do too much. It's just like, it's a witch. It's near Halloween. Let's just have some fun, you know?
Yeah. I will say the last time I saw a movie that this reminds me a lot. Well, no. I was going to say it reminds me of Peacemaker, but it's a very different tone. But like I was going to say, a very good comic book movie that came out and had a show adaptation was The Suicide Squad to Peacemaker. This is obviously very different, the Batman to the Penguin. But listen, Colin Farrell, I was one of the people who walked out and someone was like, I was like, who played the Penguin? Because he was hilarious. And they're like, that's Colin Farrell. Mm-hmm. Like, fuck off. That's not Colin Farrell. My ass, that's Colin. Like, I can't see him. To this day, I look at that makeup. I was like, I can't see Colin Farrell with that makeup. It's crazy.
No,
yeah, that's Movies and Attractive Men.
Was such a good movie.
That's our thoughts on Transformers and Speak No Evil, some Joker, and some hopefully what we'll do in the future when I'm up at 1:30 in the morning because Ben lives in a stupid fucking territory of the United States.
Holy, that's Colin Farrell?
That's Colin Farrell.
Wait, what?
You didn't know that?
I didn't know that.
That's Colin Farrell.
I know him.
Yeah.
What?
No, you don't. You don't know him.
Whoa. I was like, Colin Farrell. Who is Colin Farrell? Like,
yeah.
Like I didn't know the name, but yeah, no, 100%. That I didn't even recognize him. That's crazy.
Yeah. Right?
Oh, yeah.
That's insane.
That's crazy. Yeah.
But yeah, very excited. Was one of my favorite parts of the Batman. Yeah, but that was terrible.
I know, but I want to rewatch it because it's a cool concept.
At least watch the Schwarzenegger version. Why would you watch the Colin Farrell version? What the fuck?
Because it's Colin Farrell, man. I love Colin Farrell.
Listen, I like Colin Farrell, and he's a better actor than Arnold Schwarzenegger, but like, you're watching Total Recall for the weird... Okay. Conversation for another time. Movies and Attractive Men podcast is over.